7 miles down a county road that turns into a dirt road, but we're at the end of the road. We don't see any lights at night. We see stars. I haven't been happy. Great opportunity. But here I am now, another great opportunity. All these things that abound here in Texas. So, well, I was talking about places that that aren't really the way you remember them. And I did a record a few years ago called Find Your Shine.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
One of my favorites of all time.
And it was just a retrospective of my years growing up in El Paso, and I hadn't been there for a lot of years, so I started making these research trips back to El Paso. It's really, my wife said it's just because I want to go back to my favorite restaurants, and she's kind of right about that. But there's nothing like going home for some good food on the border there. But I was kind of shocked to see what had happened to the town that I remember, a little western town. Wild western town as it was. All politicians are crooked. They're all crooked, what am I saying? I'm not sure what that's. Anyway, so I went to this place where as kids we used to hang out. It was a couple hundred acres of like salt cedar and cottonwoods and cactus. It was along the Rio Grande, but Army Corps of Engineers had come in and put this elaborate levee system in to protect the Rio Grande from flooding the nearby cotton fields because, you know, the Rio Grande might do that someday, and it never has, so that was money well spent. And but this little stretch of land was left as a no man's land, and we adopted it as our own. We were all in our about 11, 12 years old, and we started. Our big brother set it up for us, and we went and took it over and took care of it for a few years. And it was a lot of fun. But when we went back there to look and show it to my wife, it had been all bulldozed, and they put a bunch of houses in there. And houses so close together they didn't have yards, and I didn't see any kids playing. So it was kind of sad to see some of the things you remember you treasure from your childhood. As I stood there, I was standing in the same place I stood many times as you cross this irrigation canal to get into it. This song, this memory came back and it turned into this song. It's called The Levee Boys. From the tracks down to the river, stomping ground for levee boys, armed with slingshots and transistors. We ran our turf, red and strong. Me and Jim, we were the oldest. We were strong as we were fast. In the salt cedar bosque, we built a fortress where the boys would meet and plan their next attack. We never hurt nobody, broke some windows, bent some locks. Barefoot warriors, slingshots hanging from our tattered overalls. All for one, one for all. Well, I never will forget that fateful summer. That couple from Albuquerque moved next door. Well, they yelled a lot and they used a lot of cuss words while their long-faced kids sat out on the porch. Well, that curly-headed boy, he was something. He was 2 left feet, big mouth, and a buzzing tooth. And he followed us around till we relented. We were the levee boys, defenders of the youth. And we never hurt nobody, except rattlesnakes and vermin, that was our pledge. How are we to know that we were growing up through this experience? We were just kids. Friday we was pitching rocks along the ditch bank when Curly showed up all bruises, blood, and tears. Jim said, boys, our mission here, it is apparent. No parent has the right to rob us of these years. So we took the kid to our fort out in the bosque. We stocked him up with white bread and pork and beans. And his dad knew that we knew, we weren't talking. Jim said that bastard better never lay a hand on me. questions. We was raised to always tell the truth. So me and Jim led the cops down to the levee, to that curly-headed kid with a busted tooth. See, the law didn't take to the problem lightly. Things got strangely quiet in our neighborhood. That family moved away under the cover of the night. I still don't know if what we did any good. I still don't know if what we did any good. We never hurt nobody except rattlesnakes and vermin. That was our pledge. How are we to know when we grow up with all these lessons that we live? We were just kids. From the tracks down to the river, Grandma Turf, the reckless joy, and the spirit of Huckleberry and Jim Hawkins. That was once upon a time the Levee Boys, defenders of our youth, the Levee Boys.